Today we're comparing two very capable, but two very different Bluetooth speakers.
In corner number one, the new contender, priced at $269, the Bose SoundLink Plus. And in corner number two, the seasoned heavyweight, clocking in at a whopping $379, the JBL Xtreme 4. So which takes the crown?
Well, that really just depends on what you need from your speaker. Let's get into it. Okay, let's talk design. Both the Bose SoundLink Plus and the JBL Xtreme 4 are a little bigger than your average portable Bluetooth speaker. We're not talking boombox huge, obviously, but you will notice that extra bulk compared to their smaller counterparts, the SoundLink Flex or the Charge 6. They'll still fit in a backpack, sure, but you'll know it's there. And the Xtreme 4 is going to take up a good amount of room. Now the SoundLink Plus is the smaller and lighter option of the two at about 3.4 pounds, which is still a little on the heavier side when it comes to speakers of this size. Meanwhile, the Xtreme 4 tips the scales at just over 4.5 pounds, and well, it looks the part. Bose gives you a rope loop to carry it with. JBL goes for the adjustable shoulder strap. It's detachable, and it even has a bottle opener built into it. Ow! Otherwise, both speakers are built tough and designed to handle a wet and wild backyard barbecue or a rainy camping trip, no problem. With IP67 protection ratings, they're both dustproof and waterproof. But it's under the hood where we start to see some noticeable differences between these two speakers. The SoundLink Plus is a mono speaker, while the Xtreme 4 brings stereo sound to the table, as much as it can in a small enclosure of this size. When it comes to power, the Xtreme 4 also brings the heat. It offers higher wattage, more output, more bass, all that good stuff which we'll get into shortly. So if your listening sessions lean more towards a backyard bash than a solo picnic or beach trip with just a few friends, you're going to be leaning towards the Xtreme 4. Let's talk controls. Shocking, I know, they've got buttons. But here's the thing. I've never really been a fan of these nested buttons that Bose likes to put on their speakers. They're not backlit, they're kind of mushy, and in low light, you're basically playing a game of guess the button. I always end up pressing way harder than I need to as well, just to make sure that the command registers. Not really my favorite. JBL handles this a little better. These buttons are raised, clicky, tactile, plus the power, Bluetooth, and Auracast button are all backlit, which is a small but a very welcome touch. Don't get me wrong, both sets of controls get the job done. I just prefer what JBL's got going on. When it comes to connectivity, the SoundLink Plus pairs over Bluetooth 5.4 and supports both SBC and AAC codecs. But there is a little perk for Android users. Like the Flex and the Max, the Plus also supports aptX Adaptive. And if you have a Snapdragon phone, it will automatically bump you up to that higher quality aptX codec without any extra work. Neat. JBL, on the other hand, is a little older and uses Bluetooth 5.3, but that's no big deal in everyday use. It's also SBC only. You don't get any of the fancy codec support with JBL stuff, but let's be honest, these speakers aren't made for critical listening. Don't feel like you're missing out on some magic audio quality that's going to make your party infinitely more fun. Most listeners aren't going to even notice. They're going to be too busy having fun at your party, remember? Lastly, neither of these speakers offer an aux-in or audio over a USB-C, but the SoundLink Plus can charge your phone. Ah, yes, of course, a great way to drain the battery on your speaker. It'll get you out of a pinch if you need to top up your phone, but it's 2025. We've got battery and power banks galore to choose from. It's not a feature I'm relying on to keep my phone charged for a weekend of camping. Lastly, let's talk multi-speaker pairing. SoundLink Plus supports Bose's party mode, so you can sync it up with a second generation SoundLink Flex or the SoundLink Max for a bigger mono setup. And of course, you can always pair an identical speaker for true stereo performance. Now, the Xtreme 4 uses the new JBL branded Auracast to connect with other speakers like the Charge 6 or the Flip 7 or even the Clip 5 or that big ass Party Box 520. But this is where things start to get interesting because the Xtreme 4 has a little something special going on when it comes to that JBL quasi ecosystem. For some reason, the Xtreme 4 is the only Auracast-ready JBL speaker that's also backwards compatible with older models still using Party Boost. Stick with me here. For example, you can't pair a Charge 6 with a Charge 5 or a Flip 7 with a Flip 6. JBL chose not to make those new speakers backwards compatible. The Xtreme 4 breaks that mold, which is interesting because it launched a full year earlier than both the Charge 6 and the Flip 7. The Xtreme 4 can connect to almost any JBL speaker that supports either Auracast or Party Boost. I don't know why JBL does these things, I just work here. So, what's going on inside the Bose and JBL portable apps? Honestly, not a whole lot, but I'm still giving this round to JBL. You get a handful of EQ sets, plus a 5-band customizable EQ, which is always appreciated. Newer JBL models like the Charge 6 though are now coming with a 7-band EQ, so I am hoping we'll see a firmware update to bring that to the Xtreme 4 as well. Bose's EQ on the other hand, well, it's just straight up hot garbage. You get bass boost and treble boost, or bass reducer and treble reducer. Seriously, who signs off on these uninspired presets, Mr. Bose? And to top it off, you're stuck with a 3-band customizable EQ. Come on Bose, you're charging nearly $300 for this speaker. Give us more control. We want more control. That said, if you're a casual listener, you might not even bother with either of these apps. You can pair and play just fine right out of the box. If you want to tweak your EQ, enable stereo mode with a second speaker, or get firmware updates, you'll eventually need to download the app. It's not mandatory, but it definitely unlocks a bit more from your speaker. Now when it comes to battery life, it's kind of a close call. Think 2 minutes left in Game 7 of a best of 7 series. Okay, maybe not that close, but here's what you need to know. Both speakers offer solid battery life, but the Xtreme 4 has an ace up its sleeve. But before we discuss the results, I want to explain how we test. We play a continuous loop of music at 80 dB, measured from 1 meter away. That's a little closer to real world party volume, you know, when you're rocking out with a few friends. Bose claims the SoundLink Plus gets 20 hours of playtime on a single charge, and in our testing, it clocked out at 20 hours and 55 minutes. Not bad, Bose. Not bad at all. Now the Xtreme 4 advertises 24 hours of battery life, and in my testing, it hit a whopping 28 hours and 37 minutes. Nice. But wait, there's more. The Xtreme 4 also features a swappable battery system. Bam! That means you can always keep a second battery on hand to keep the party going all night, or if you're using your speaker so much that the original battery starts to degrade, it's super easy to replace. Big points to JBL for that one. Lastly, it's also worth knowing that the Xtreme 4 comes with a USB-C to AC power cable. So if you're just using this thing around the house or the garage, make sure you plug it in because it gives you a wattage boost. Which brings us to the sound quality section. Okay, welcome to the sound quality section. While the SoundLink Plus and the Xtreme 4 both sound great, they're tuned for very different listening experiences and they shine in different scenarios. The SoundLink Plus, being the smaller mono unit, is best for personal listening or low-key hangs when it's just you and a couple friends. I wish I could tell you how many watts this speaker is rated for, but unfortunately, Bose doesn't like to share that information with anyone, reviewers like myself included. If I had to guess though, based on its output and my experience with other speakers, I'm gonna guess it's somewhere around 40 or 45 watts like the Charge 6. It's not built to shake your windows, and that's perfectly okay. Like other speakers in the SoundLink lineup, it leans into that Bose style signature sound with slightly emphasized bass and treble and a recessed mid-range. That gives you decent low-end thump for a speaker of this size, and good clarity in the high end, which lets you hear details like the attack of a piano key or reverberated vocal tones. But due to that recessed mid-range, distorted guitars and snare drums tend to sound a little further back in the mix, especially in more complex and layered tracks. Still, I think the SoundLink Plus is a great sounding unit right out of the box. And you can always use that basic EQ to bump up the mids if you want the guitars to cut through a bit more. For everyday listening across a range of genres, it sounds perfectly fine. Now the Xtreme 4, on the other hand, plays in a bit of a different league. As mentioned, it's a stereo speaker with more wattage under the hood, and it absolutely gets louder and hits harder than the SoundLink Plus. You're not just hearing the bass, we're getting a little closer to feeling it. Whether you're dropping heavy EDM, hip-hop, or you just want your music to carry across a backyard or the beach, the Xtreme 4 delivers that kind of punch. If you're the type of person who wants your portable speaker to be the life of the party, indoors or out, the Xtreme 4 is where it's at. That said, there are two important things to know about the Xtreme 4 regarding performance. Yes, it does offer stereo playback with dual woofers and dual tweeters, but I wouldn't call its left to right instrument separation or width the Xtreme 4's strong suit. Its real strength is in the bass response. The 4 drivers are all packed pretty tight here in this football-shaped enclosure. Stereo playback in a single unit is a nice feature to have, but don't expect the spatial feel of a proper dual speaker setup. You can get that experience, of course, by adding a second Xtreme 4, but that'll cost you a pretty penny. $379 times 2, it's like $900. $1 million? No, $700. $1 million? The second thing you should know about the Xtreme 4 is that while it advertises 100 watts of output, that's only when you're using that included USB-C to AC cable. When you're running off battery, it drops to 70 watts. It still gets plenty loud for a larger gathering, but if you really want to squeeze as much juice out of the Xtreme 4 as possible, you'll want to plug it in. So what does that leave us with? Well, it leaves us with two very expensive Bluetooth speakers that are suited for different use cases. As I said at the start, it really depends on what you need. If you want something more compact, easier to carry, and great for relaxed listening sessions or smaller gatherings, SoundLink Plus is a solid choice. It delivers great sound out of the box, has a sleek yet durable design, and includes aptX adaptive support for Android users. But if your priority is big bass, long battery life, and the ability to keep a party going well into the night, then the Xtreme 4 is the better pick. Yes, it is quite a bit more expensive, but it gets louder, hits harder, and works with a wide range of JBL speakers, including older models, thanks to its flexible pairing options. Both of these speakers have their strengths, but if I had to choose one to power my weekend plans, I'm gonna go with the Xtreme 4. Of course, if you wanna know even more about the SoundLink Plus or the JBL Xtreme 4, you can read my full reviews at SoundGuys.com, and let me know down in the comments below which speaker you're going with and what other speakers you'd love to see on this channel. Happy listening! I thought I was gonna go below the table, but I didn't this time. What's that ladder doing here?